I'm 77 years old, and I need to tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. For 53 years of my life, I believed that success was the answer to everything. I believed that if I worked hard enough, built something big enough, made enough money, everything else would fall into place. I was wrong about everything. I built a company worth $300 million. I had my name on buildings. I shook hands with senators. I was on the cover of business magazines. And right now, I'm sitting alone in a house with 7 bedrooms and nobody to fill them. Something happened 4 years ago that shattered everything I thought I knew. Something I never saw coming. Something that broke me in ways I didn't know I could break. My daughter got married, and she didn't invite me. I found out from a LinkedIn post. My own daughter's wedding, and I saw the photos the same way a stranger would. That's when I realized the terrible truth. I had spent my entire adult life climbing a mountain, and when I finally got to the top, I looked around and realized I was completely alone. Nobody was there. Not my daughter, not my son, not the wife who left me 22 years ago, just me, and a view that meant nothing. I'm going to tell you things today that nobody told me when I was your age. Things I wish someone had grabbed me by the shoulders and screamed into my face. Because you're probably making the same mistakes I made. You're probably telling yourself the same lies I told myself. And if you don't stop, you're going to end up exactly where I am. Alone, successful, and completely, utterly empty. Let me take you back to that day. October 14th, 2021. I was in my home office, the one with the mahogany desk and the leather chair that cost more than most people's cars. I was reviewing quarterly projections, always reviewing something, always working. My phone buzzed, a LinkedIn notification. I almost ignored it. I get hundreds of notifications a day, but something made me look. Sarah Mitchell changed her name to Sarah Mitchell Reynolds. Mitchell, that's my name. That's my daughter's name. Was. I clicked on her profile, and there it was. Photos. My daughter in a white dress, smiling, radiant, the happiest I'd ever seen her, a man I'd never met standing beside her, my ex-wife in the front row, crying, my son walking her down the aisle I should have walked her down. I stared at that screen for I don't know how long, minutes, hours. Time stopped making sense. My hands were shaking. My chest felt tight. For a moment, I thought I was having a heart attack. Maybe I was. Maybe I still am, just in slow motion. I kept scrolling through the photos. The reception, the first dance, the cake cutting, the speeches. There was a speech. My son gave a speech, and I wasn't there to hear it. I wasn't there for any of it. My daughter had the most important day of her life, and she deliberately chose to exclude me. She looked at the guest list and consciously decided, that her own father didn't deserve to be there. And you know what the worst part is? She was right. I sat in that expensive chair, in that expensive office, in that expensive house, and I asked myself a question I had never asked before. When was the last time I saw my daughter? I couldn't remember. I tried. I really tried. Christmas? No. I was in Singapore closing a deal. Her birthday? No, I sent a gift. A check, actually. I always sent checks. I thought that's what good fathers did. Thanksgiving, Easter, any holiday at all, nothing. The last clear memory I had of my daughter was her college graduation 11 years ago. And even then, I left early for a meeting. I left my daughter's graduation early for a meeting. And that meeting, I can't even remember what it was about. But I remember Sarah's face when she saw me slip out the back. I remember her looking for me in the crowd during her walk across the stage. I remember her eyes scanning, searching. And I remember the moment she stopped looking. That was the moment I lost her. I just didn't know it yet. Sitting in my office that day, staring at wedding photos I wasn't in, I finally understood. I finally saw what I had done. I had traded my family for a company. I had traded my daughter's childhood for board meetings. I had traded being present for being successful, and now the bill had come due. How did I get here? The same way you might be getting there, slowly, gradually, one reasonable decision at a time. It started when I was 24 years old, fresh out of business school, hungry, ambitious, ready to prove everyone wrong. My father had been a factory worker. Good man, honest man, poor man. He died at 58 with nothing to show for it but calloused hands and a pension that barely covered my mother's rent. I swore I would be different. I would be successful. I would be rich. I would be somebody. So I worked. God, how I worked. 80-hour weeks, 90-hour weeks. I was the first one in and the last one out. I canceled vacations. I missed dinners. I sacrificed everything on the altar of ambition, and it worked. By 32, I had my own company. By 40, I had 50 employees. By 50, I was worth $100 million. The goalposts kept moving, but I kept chasing them. I told myself, when I hit my first million, then I'll slow down. I didn't. When the company goes public, then I'll take a vacation. I didn't. When I make enough to never worry about money again, then I'll spend time with my kids. I didn't. There was always another deal, another opportunity, another mountain to climb. Meanwhile, my daughter was growing up, and I was missing it. I missed her first steps because I was in a meeting. I missed her first words because I was on a plane. I missed her school plays because I was closing deals. I missed her soccer games because I was reviewing contracts. At the time, I told myself it was temporary. I told myself I was building something for her, for the family. They'll understand when they're older, I said. They'll thank me someday, I said. I'm doing this for them, I said. Lies, all of it. Comfortable lies. I told myself so I could keep doing what I wanted to do. The truth, I was doing it for me. I was addicted to success the way some men are addicted to alcohol. I needed the next deal like an addict needs the next hit, and my family paid the price. When Sarah was 12, she asked me to come to her piano recital. She had been practicing for months. It was important to her. I said I'd be there. The day of the recital, a crisis erupted at work. A major client was threatening to leave. My presence was essential, so I called my wife. Tell Sarah I'm sorry. I'll make it up to her. I didn't make it up to her. I never made anything up to anyone. When my son was 16, he made the varsity basketball team. First game of the season, he was starting. I told him I'd be in the front row. I was in Cleveland, negotiating a merger. He scored 22 points that night. I learned about it from my wife 2 days later. So I waited. I told myself I'd be there next time. So I waited again. I told myself I'd make it up to them. So I waited again. And one day they stopped asking. That's the thing nobody tells you. Kids don't keep asking forever. They learn. They adapt. They stop expecting you to show up, and then they stop wanting you to. By the time I had the time, I had lost the relationship. My wife left me when I was 55. She said she was tired of being married to a ghost. She said she wanted a husband, not a business partner who occasionally slept in the same bed. I didn't fight for her. I had a company to run. My son stopped calling when he was 25. I think I missed one too many things, or maybe it was all of them. He got married 3 years ago. I was invited to that wedding at least, but I could tell I was there as an obligation, not because he wanted me there. We exchanged maybe 100 words all night, and my daughter was always the one who tried hardest. She kept reaching out, even when I kept letting her down. She kept hoping I would change. Until she stopped hoping. I had the career, I had the money, I had the respect, but I didn't have anyone to share it with. Let me tell you about the lies that destroyed my life. The same lies you might be telling yourself right now. Lie number 1, I have time. Let me save you 53 years of regret with one simple truth. You don't have time. You have right now. That's it. This moment, this day, this phone call you're putting off, this person you're neglecting. Tomorrow isn't promised. And even if it comes, the opportunity you're postponing might not. I kept telling myself I'd have time later, time to be a father, time to be a husband, time to be present. But here's what happened instead. My daughter grew up, she became a woman, she got married, and I wasn't there for any of it. There is no later, there's only now. And if you waste now, later never comes. Lie number 2, success will make me happy. I made $300 million. I had homes in 3 countries. I had a yacht, a jet, a car collection. I had everything money could buy, and I would trade all of it, every single penny, for one more dinner with my daughter where she actually wanted me there. Success is the biggest scam ever sold. We spend our whole lives chasing it, sacrificing everything for it, and when we finally get it, nothing. It's empty, hollow, meaningless, because success without people to share it with isn't success at all. It's just expensive loneliness. Lie number 3, they'll understand. They won't. I kept telling myself my family would understand why I couldn't be there. They would appreciate the sacrifices I was making. They would see that I was doing it all for them. They didn't see that. You know what they saw? A father who chose work over them. A husband who prioritized money over marriage. A man who was physically present for the big moments but mentally absent for all the small ones. And the small ones, that's where life happens. That's where love is built. That's where memories are made. I missed thousands of small moments chasing big achievements, and now I'd give anything to have those small moments back. Lie number 4, I'll make it up to them. You won't. You can't. Time doesn't work that way. You can't unmiss a recital. You can't unmiss a graduation. You can't go back and be present for a moment that's already gone. I kept a running list in my head of all the things I'd make up to my family someday. Someday never came. And now that list is just a catalog of regrets, a monument to all the ways I failed the people I claimed to love. I knew a man once, Robert. We were in the same industry. He was even more successful than me, more driven, more focused. He had a heart attack at 62. At his funeral, his son gave a eulogy. Want to know what he said? My father was a very successful man, but I barely knew him. That's it. That was the summary of a life, a career that spanned 4 decades, reduced to I barely knew him. I sat in that funeral and felt nothing. I thought, thank God that's not me, but it is me. It's exactly me. If I died tomorrow, what would my daughter say? Would she even come to the funeral? Is that the legacy you want? You want to know what keeps me up at night? Not the deals I lost, not the money I could have made, not the business opportunities that slipped away. No, it's the small things, the specific moments, the ones that replay in my mind at 3 a.m. when sleep won't come. Let me tell you about them. The father-daughter dance I never had. When Sarah was in 5th grade, her school held a father-daughter dance. She came home with the flyer. I still remember her face, so excited, so hopeful. Daddy, will you take me? I looked at my calendar. I had a conference in Dallas that weekend. Important investors, crucial relationships. Maybe next year, sweetheart. There was no next year. They canceled the event after that. Budget cuts. She never asked me to dance again. And now? Now she danced with someone else at her wedding. Some man I've never met walked her onto the floor while I sat alone in my office, watching through a screen. The baseball glove that sat unused for 20 years. When my son turned 8, I bought him an expensive baseball glove, top of the line, the best money could buy. I told him we'd play catch every weekend. That glove is still in my garage, still in the box. I found it last year when I was cleaning out some old things. We never played catch, not once. I gave him equipment instead of time. I gave him things instead of presents. And now he's 42 years old, and I couldn't tell you what his favorite food is. I don't know the names of his kids' teachers. I don't know if he's happy. I don't know my own son. The trip to Italy I promised my wife. Before we got married, I told her we'd go to Italy for our 10th anniversary. She had always dreamed of seeing Rome, Florence, Venice. We'll walk through the Colosseum together, I said. We'll eat pasta in little cafes, I said. We'll watch the sunset over the canals, I said. Year 10 came. I was too busy. Year 15, too many obligations. Year 20, the company was at a critical stage. Year 25, she filed for divorce. She went to Italy eventually. Last year, I heard, with her new husband, the man who actually shows up. The phone call I didn't make. My mother called me on a Tuesday afternoon, March 15th, 2008. I remember because I was in the middle of a negotiation. I saw her name on my phone. I sent it to voicemail. I'll call her back tonight, I thought. I didn't. She called again the next day. I was busy again. Tomorrow, I thought. She died on Thursday. A stroke. Quick. Painless, they said. But not painless for me. I never called her back. Those were her last 2 days on earth, and she spent them trying to reach a son who was too busy to answer. I don't even know what she wanted to tell me. Maybe nothing important. Maybe just to hear my voice. I'll never know. And I'll carry that with me until I die. The I love you I never said. My father wasn't an affectionate man. He never said I love you. It just wasn't done in his generation. I inherited that. I convinced myself that love was shown through provision, through success, through giving my family financial security. Words were unnecessary, so I never said them, not to my wife, not to my children, not to anyone. And now I would give everything I own to have one more conversation with my daughter. One more chance to say the words I was too proud, too stubborn, too broken to say. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm sorry. 3 sentences, 15 words. I built an empire with millions of words, contracts, presentations, negotiations, but I couldn't say 15 words to my own daughter. The retirement party I skipped, my best friend for 30 years, a man named David. We built our companies together, side by side. He retired at 65, threw a big party, invited everyone who mattered to him, including me. I was supposed to give a toast. I wrote the whole speech. I practiced it in front of the mirror. The night of the party, a crisis erupted, a lawsuit, potentially devastating. I called David. I'll be late. Save me a seat. I never made it. He called me the next day, said he understood, said it was fine, but I could hear it in his voice. The disappointment, the resignation. We drifted apart after that, slowly, gradually. He died 2 years ago, cancer, and I went to his funeral, sat in the back, didn't speak to anyone. His wife looked at me once, just once, and I saw it in her eyes. She knew. She knew I had let him down, just like I let everyone down. The book I never read. My daughter wrote a book. Did you know that? Published it 3 years ago. A novel. Her first. She sent me a copy, signed it. To Dad, hope you enjoy it. Love, Sarah. I put it on my shelf. Told myself I'd read it when things calmed down. It's still on my shelf. Unread. I don't even know what it's about. My own daughter's book, and I never took the time to read it. What kind of father does that? The kind who ends up alone at 77. The kind who watches his daughter's wedding through a LinkedIn post. The kind who built an empire and lost everything that mattered. That's the kind of father I am. After I saw those wedding photos, something broke inside me, or maybe something finally woke up. For weeks, I couldn't function. I would sit in my office staring at nothing. The deals kept coming, the emails kept piling up, the phone kept ringing. I didn't care. For the first time in 53 years, I didn't care about any of it. All I could think about was that photograph, my daughter in her white dress, the smile I hadn't seen in years, the joy I had no part in. I had to do something, so I started writing letters, not emails, not texts, handwritten letters, to my daughter, to my son, to my ex-wife. I didn't make excuses. I didn't defend myself. I just apologized. Page after page of apology for every missed recital, every broken promise, every time I chose work over them. My daughter didn't respond. My son sent a short email. I got your letter. I don't know what to say. I need time. My ex-wife called me. We talked for 3 hours. She cried. I cried. First time I'd cried since I was 12 years old. She forgave me, not for my sake, for hers. She said holding on to anger was exhausting. I started making changes. At 73 years old, I stepped back from my company, not completely, but significantly, handed over day-to-day operations to people I trusted. I started traveling, not for business, for life. Went to Italy, alone. Sat in those little cafes I had promised my wife decades ago. Watched the sunset over Venice. And I wept. I wept for all the years I wasted, for all the moments I missed, for the family I destroyed with my ambition. I started therapy at 74 years old. Can you imagine? A man my age sitting in a therapist's office talking about his feelings. My father would have been horrified, but my father died at 58 with nothing but regrets. I don't want to die like him. I read my daughter's book, finally, cover to cover. It's about a girl whose father is never there, who grows up feeling invisible, who learns to stop expecting anything from the man who was supposed to protect her. I read it 3 times, and I understood. I understood what I had done. Not in abstract terms, not in vague regrets, but in the specific, brutal detail of my daughter's own words. I wrote her another letter, this time about the book, about what it meant to me, about how sorry I was. She responded, 3 words, "Thank you, Dad. It's not forgiveness, not yet, maybe not ever, but it's something. I'm 77 now. I've been actually living for only 4 years out of 77, and these have been the best 4 years of my life. I'm not happy, not exactly. The grief is always there. The regret never leaves. But I'm awake, finally awake, and I'm trying. Every single day, I'm trying. Now I need to talk to you. Yes, you, the one watching this video, the one who thinks this doesn't apply to them, the one who's already planning to click away and get back to work. Stop. Listen to me. I'm 77 years old. I built a $300 million empire. I had everything the world says you should want. And I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Not if it costs you your family. Not if it costs you your relationships. Not if it costs you the people who actually matter. Let me ask you something. If you died tomorrow, would you be satisfied with the life you've lived so far? Not, would people be impressed at your funeral? Not, did you achieve enough? Not, would your LinkedIn profile look good? Would you be satisfied? Would you look back and say, I spent my time on the things that mattered? Or would you look back and see what I see, a life wasted chasing things that mean nothing in the end? I know what you're thinking. But I have responsibilities. So did I. But I need to provide for my family. So did I. But I'll have time later. That's what I thought. For 53 years, that's what I thought. Later never comes. The kids you're ignoring today, they'll be adults tomorrow. They'll have their own lives, their own families, and you'll be a stranger to them. The spouse you're neglecting, they won't wait forever. They'll find someone who actually shows up, someone who chooses them. The parents you're too busy to call, they're getting older every day. One day you'll pick up the phone, and there'll be no one on the other end. Don't wait. I'm begging you. Don't make my mistakes. You think you're building something that will last. You think your career, your money, your success will be your legacy. It won't. You know what your legacy is, how you made people feel, whether you showed up, whether you were present for the moments that mattered. That's it. That's the whole thing. Nobody on their deathbed wishes they had closed more deals. Nobody in their final moments thinks about their stock portfolio. They think about people. They think about love. They think about all the moments they missed. Don't be 77 years old watching your daughter's wedding through a screen. Don't be 77 years old living in a mansion with nobody to share it with. Don't be 77 years old writing letters that might never be answered. Don't wait 53 years to wake up. Wake up now, today, this moment. If I could go back and talk to my 24-year-old self, here's what I would say. Actually, I wouldn't say anything. I would grab him by the shoulders, I would look him in the eyes, and I would shout, stop. Stop thinking you have unlimited time. You don't. Stop telling yourself you'll make it up to them later. You won't. Stop believing that success will fill the emptiness. It never does. Stop missing recitals for meetings that won't matter in 5 years. Stop sending checks when what they need is your presence. Stop choosing your career over your family, because one day your career will end and your family will be gone. Stop postponing joy. Stop postponing love. Stop postponing life. Just stop and start. Start calling your parents today, right now, before you forget, before it's too late. Start showing up, not when it's convenient, and not when you have time. Every single time they need you, start saying the words, I love you, I'm proud of you, I'm sorry. Say them until they become natural. Say them until you can't imagine not saying them. Start taking the trips, the ones you've been postponing, the ones you keep saying you'll do someday. Book the tickets today. Start reading the books your children write. Start attending the games they play. Start caring about what matters to them. Start being present. Not physically present while mentally absent. Actually present, phone down, eyes up, fully there. If you want to spend more time with your kids, do it. Don't wait until they're older. They won't want you there when they're older if you're not there now. If you want to tell someone you love them, tell them. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There's only now. If you want to repair a relationship, start today. Write the letter, make the call, show up at their door. Show up. If you want to change your priorities, change them. Not tomorrow, not next week, not after this project is done. Now. Do it now. Because I promise you this, the moment you've been waiting for, it never comes. There's always another reason to delay, another excuse to postpone, until suddenly there's no more time left. And then you're 77 years old, watching life happen through a screen, wishing you had done things differently. I'm 77 years old now. I've been actually living for only 4 years. 4 years out of 77, that's all. And these 4 years have been more meaningful than the previous 73 combined. I wake up now and I'm grateful. Grateful for another day, another chance, another opportunity to try. I call my son every Sunday. He answers sometimes, not always, but sometimes. I send my daughter letters monthly, just small things, memories, apologies, updates on my life. She writes back occasionally, short notes, but she writes back. It's not the relationship I wish we had. It's not the father-daughter bond I see other people have, but it's something, and I'm grateful for something. The irony isn't lost on me. I spent 53 years chasing happiness in all the wrong places. Money, success, achievement, power, and I found more peace in 4 years of failure than I ever found in 5 decades of winning, because I'm not winning anymore. I'm just living. I'm sitting with my regrets. I'm accepting what I cannot change. I'm trying to salvage what little time I have left. Would I do things differently if I could go back? Every single thing. I would be there for the recitals. I would answer my mother's calls. I would throw the baseball with my son. I would take my wife to Italy when I promised. I would read my daughter's book the day it arrived. I would say, I love you, until they were sick of hearing it. I would choose people over profits every single time, but I can't go back. None of us can. All we have is forward. All we have is now. All we have is this moment and what we choose to do with it. I'm 77. My moments are running out, but yours aren't. You still have time, not unlimited time, but time. Don't waste it the way I wasted mine. You have a choice right now, this very moment. You can close this video and go back to your life, back to the meetings, back to the emails, back to the endless pursuit of success. You can tell yourself that this doesn't apply to you, that you're different, that you'll find balance later. You can keep climbing that ladder, convincing yourself it's leaning against the right wall. Or you can wake up, you can put down your phone and call someone you love. You can leave work early and make it to your kid's game. You can book those tickets, write that letter, say those words. You can stop waiting for someday and start living today. The choice is yours. But let me tell you what I know. Someday never comes. Later doesn't exist. Doesn't. The perfect moment is a lie we tell ourselves so we don't have to change. If you wait until you're ready, you'll die waiting. If you wait until you have enough money, there will never be enough. If you wait until work calms down, it never will. The only moment you have is this one. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep building an empire that will mean nothing when you're gone? Or are you going to build relationships that will outlast you? Are you going to keep chasing success that leaves you empty? Or are you going to pursue a life that leaves you fulfilled? I built a $300 million company. I lost my daughter. I lost my son. I lost my wife. I lost 53 years of my life chasing something that was never worth catching. Don't be me. Please, don't be me. The time is now. It always has been. If this story hits you, I need you to do something. Don't just watch and scroll. Share this. Not for me. I don't need the views. I don't need the subscribers. I'm 77 years old. What am I going to do with YouTube fame? Share it for the person in your life who needs to hear this. The friend who's always working, the parent who's missing their kids' childhoods, the spouse who's never present. Share it for them, and then leave a comment. Tell me what you're going to do differently. Tell me who you're going to call. Tell me what you're going to change. I read every single comment, everyone, because your stories matter to me. Your choices matter to me. Your lives matter to me. I don't have much time left. But if my mistakes can help you avoid yours, then maybe these 77 years weren't completely wasted. Subscribe if you want to hear more. I have more stories, more regrets, more lessons, and not much time to share them. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Your time is precious. Thank you for spending it with me. Now go. Call someone you love. Tell them what they mean to you. Do it now, before it's too late.